So God has placed calling on each and every single one of our lives. And the collective calling of the church is to proclaim the good news of the gospel to the world that so desperately needs to know it. To be a city on the hill, a light that stands in defiance of the darkness. In order to do that, we must be good stewards of the resources and the talents that God has given us. In that way, practicing self-care is not about narcissism or vanity. It is about allowing ourselves to be the very best person that we can be to be used for the kingdom of God. So you might want to go the extra mile for someone, but you're going to find that difficult if you're out of breath after 50 feet. You might have all passion and zeal to proclaim the good news of the gospel to the entire world, but if the rest of the week you're filling your head with junk and garbage, that message is inevitably going to come out smelling a little bit funny. If you do not allow any rest for your soul, you will have very little left over eternally to give somebody. God calls us to take care of ourselves, to take care of our bodies, our minds, and our spirits, because they're all connected. If you start neglecting one for the other, you will see that it's creeping in on the things that you think are more important in life. Back in high school, I played varsity basketball. That was my ceiling of sports. I got all the way to varsity basketball in high school. And I was a pretty active guy, pretty good in shape. It wasn't until I went to college that I realized that I can't eat anything that I want to anymore. I saw pictures of myself after my freshman year, and don't worry, you never will. And thought to myself, ooh, man, that freshman 15, that's a real thing. But Abby, for me, it was more like freshman 50. For the first time in my life, I realized that I had to pay attention to what I was eating. Man, you remember those days when it didn't matter what you ate? And then life went on like that for a while. 2 years go by, and I transfer from TCU, the school that I was going to U of H, in order to take a youth ministry position at the church that I grew up at, that I was really excited about. It's a big job, big deal. I was on fire for what God was doing in my life, and I was ready to go 100% towards ministry and youth ministry. But I was also working about 40 hours a week, many weeks more than that, while also taking 18 hours a semester in order to finish my undergraduate. But it didn't matter, because the most important thing that I was doing was serving God. This was important work. Rest can come later. But as people older and wiser than me probably can guess, that didn't last very long. It wasn't long before the areas of my life that I was neglecting started affecting the areas of my life that I thought were the most important. Is that if I am going to be what God is calling me to be, then I have to be holistic in my self-care. I have to take care of my body, my mind, and my spirit.